What's up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to the channel. If you're listening on podcast, welcome back to Nerd Talk with ShonnyDman, and I am here with a very special guest. Uh, so, as I mentioned before, I think I said this in the previous podcast and YouTube episode. When doing this, these are people that I've never personally met. These are people I follow on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and I just reach out to them. And I have a guest who was most gracious enough to come on this week's episode. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I am Sikx Rin. I do weird stuff on the internet. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe me. I started out on TikTok and just really making videos that made me happy. And everyone said, like, you need to have a niche, you need to have a niche. But for me, it was just weird, nerd, and whatever I felt like doing.
Right.
And I don't know if that maybe hurt me. Because I don't think that my channel is for everyone because it is kind of all over the place. And then my Instagram, I started just kind of like as a fan service, I guess you could say. Photos really aren't my thing. I actually really hate taking them. I'm not a model. I have a hard time being that pretty girl. I have an easier time being that weird, awkward kind of girl. So.
Okay.
But I just opened up my Instagram and it's done really well because TikTok's kind of a finicky platform.
Right.
And so that's my persona in a nutshell.
Right. Originally when I came across your page, it was on TikTok, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was I saw that I was like, I followed you. I've been following you for a while now, but when I started Nerd Talk, I think your page came up again on my TikTok, and I was like, let me save this because this might be somebody I want to reach out to. Um, I just can't remember what it was that I saw that got my attention, but so basically for all intents and purposes, there's cosplay, but then there's what you do, which is more, it's cosplay, but it's more of the adult variety. Um,
Yes.
what got you into that?
So I guess I have a very sick sense of humor
Mm,
and I like inappropriate things. I laugh at everything. And I imagine that if I would have started this like 10 years ago, I probably would be banned because everything's hilarious to me. So I have to be kind of careful with my sense of humor and like where I go with it. I've always loved being able to dive into a character and become someone else for a moment because to me, life is overall pretty standard. Like every day feels like the same. So when I do cosplay, it's kind of like an escape for me. And as far as like how I present myself on my channel, it's who I like to be, what I find entertaining that I can't usually like pull off like on an everyday
mhm.
life sort of situation.
Right. So what was the first so what was the first cosplay idea that you came up with, and was it the actual first one that you did?
Like ever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right off the bat. Like you've been doing this for quite a while. From what I can tell from your Instagram and your TikTok, you've been doing it for quite a while. What was the first idea? Well, yeah, what was the first outfit that you wore when you started this on this journey?
Okay, so my very first one actually was not cosplay.
Okay.
Um, I was like obsessed with all the transitions that I saw these people doing, so I wanted to try my own. And it was me just looking like complete trash, like I usually look on a daily basis. If you go back to the very beginning of my channel, you'll see it. And like I'm wearing like a huge gaudy, I think it's a Space Invaders sweater, like a Christmas
Oh,
sweater,
okay.
and like sweatpants, and my hair's a mess. I don't have makeup on, and I pull out a stopwatch and I'm like, oh, I'm late. I turn around and then I look presentable.
Mm.
So that was the very first thing I did on my channel. As far as cosplay goes, I really, it was around, so I started almost a year ago and it was around Halloween. So I did like a zombie look and like a skeleton. And I mean, honestly, my first videos were fun for me, but they're not very popular. Oh, and I did like a Barbie girl.
Okay.
So I think when I started to get a bigger following is when I brought out my Star Wars stuff. And
Oh,
that's how you found me,
right.
honestly.
Now that I think about it, so your TikTok, it just clicked in my head what it was because it was one of the images that you sent me. Um, and for those of you watching, they're probably you're probably seeing it now, but there are certain images I have up on kind of as a slideshow as we have this conversation. Um, so as one of the images that you sent me was you were dressed as I believe it was a Harry Potter attire, kind of like Luna Lovegood. That
Oh,
that was the first one that I came across that got my attention, and then I
with Ron Weasley.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I was kind of like, oh wait, let me follow this person and see what she has to offer, and yeah, so that was the one of the that's what caught my attention to your page the first time. Even ever since then, so I've been following you, and like her Star Wars stuff are really good. I enjoy her Star Wars, particularly her Rey Skywalker. I very much love that. Um,
Thank you.
so you doing this? How has it changed your life ever since you started
Okay.
this?
So I started doing this because I felt like in my everyday life, I was kind of losing my identity. Um, I was going to college and working, and and doing a lot of things like to help my family out. And I, I wasn't doing anything for myself. So literally, and actually, I rebooted. I started a different account for like a month, and I said, nope, this is a complete mess. I had to rethink it just a little bit. Um, so yeah, just one night I created an account and I'm like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want and it's gonna be exactly what I've wanted to do my whole life, and that's cosplay and ridiculousness. Um, so because I did it impulsively and I didn't really have a plan, and I am already incredibly horrible at time management, as you might know, because I kept giving you different times for this, that I think so overall it's really helped my mental health.
Okay.
Being able to embrace the side of me I've always wanted to do, and I wish I'd have done it a long time ago. Although I don't know if I would have been so successful before
Mm,
like this internet age.
right.
But then again, it's also very stressful because I suck at time. And figuring out how to balance that with my personal life and everything I do takes so much longer than I plan on.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like a frazzled mess most days. Like when people say hot mess, that's me. And like I don't like to go in public all dolled up with a lot of makeup on. I like to look like trash pretty much.
Hmm.
So yeah, like figuring out how to do things in the public eye and do my cosplay and like keep it separate has been challenging. So mostly good, I would say. I just need to fix my
Right.
whole issue with time.
Right. No, no. Yeah, because uh we would conversate back and forth, and obviously I know that you're a busy person, and that's one of the things too. When I believe I said it when I first reached out to you, that if you're available to do this, that'd be great. But if not, that's completely fine. I've had people tell me that they want to do an episode, but they're just busy with other things, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I always try, and I think I told it to you too, but previous guests as well. I always told them, hey, I can be flexible. I want to make it work for your time. Because doing nerd talk, um, it's been actually really fun for me because I started this YouTube channel. I've had this YouTube channel for a couple of years now, but I've never really uh, put much work into it. But about 2 years ago, I kind of like I had videos and things like that on it, but I reset it, and now I have what I have now. And doing nerd talk, as I tell many people all the time, is a way for me to not, to branch out, meet new people, and build new friendships and relationships. And so that has been one of the huge highlight of doing this, especially meeting people like you and the previous guests that I've had on. Um, so what has been a funny moment in regards to your cosplaying that has happened to you? I've seen some of your bloopers that you've put on Instagram. Um, do you what's a funny story like that you can share with us?
So yeah, I stress myself out a lot because I have a vision about how I want things to look and go. And if it's
Mm,
not executing the way that I plan, yeah, that's usually where my bloopers come from. But the scariest thing is when someone comes to my freaking door and I'm like all dressed up, and most of the time it is not appropriate.
right.
So, or I just look like insane. I don't know if I have like any really funny things. I try and make fun of myself a lot when I'm putting out my bloopers and things like that. It makes me feel more comfortable
Hmm.
like with what I do if I can share like the behind the scenes and
Right.
um I'm trying to, I don't know, you might have to come back to that if I think of something. I didn't really think anything on that. I don't know if I've got a good story for you on that.
Hey, that's
Other
completely
than just being embarrassed and not wanting to open my door, but that's not
right.
unusual. I want to open my door anyway.
um, so how long? So I mentioned about um you doing this for a while. For those who are listening and those who are watching that have never followed you before, how long have you actually been doing this?
October 22nd last year is when I
Oh,
started.
oh, so really just almost a year?
Yeah.
Oh wow. And you've
Um,
that's impressive.
so yeah, and I mean, I actually thought I would be a little bit further with
Mm,
followers on TikTok, but they changed a lot of their I guess algorithm and my content because it is a little bit more adult. It
mm,
gets flagged a lot, and I've had
uh,
to become a little bit more creative with how I do things on there. Um, so I've kind of branched out a little bit on Twitter
right.
and Instagram to be able to do the things that I know I can't do on TikTok, which Instagram still is pretty limited too, but not as bad.
Mm.
But yeah, I got a lot of violations at the beginning of the year, and it just kept happening. They kept piling on top of each other. So yeah, I was actually shocked when my first video went viral.
Mm,
And I did not expect that. But then once it happens, you expect it to just keep going.
mm,
And some of my content, honestly, I like better than that original viral. It just, yeah, it hasn't happened. So,
right. Right. What was that first video?
um, I have it pinned now,
Okay.
and it's the Ray Skywalker with Old Man Luke, and
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna eat a hot dog.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my life. It's the Infinity Challenge one.
Oh, okay, okay. I got you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Which is really surprising because the amount of stuff that's now out there on Instagram and TikTok, or I would probably, or I would say maybe on the same level as what you do, or probably even a lot more out there compared to what you do. Um, so that's surprising. That so do you still get flagged a lot, or has it kind of like simmered down as the months went on?
Um, I have started posting less
Mm,
because it's super discouraging. And I think my last flag was in July. And the crazy thing, and other creators will understand this if they're on TikTok, is you will get violations for like things that make no sense or like super old.
Right.
Like I got my account banned in July and they completely took everything down. And it was for a violation that they reviewed from appeal that I put in like a couple months before it, and then they banned my account over that same video. So yeah, I guess they've slowed down because I've slowed down posting on there, and I've tried to be more careful with some of the things, dude, that I've had violations for. Like twice I got a violation for using the drool emoji. So if anyone wants to use the drool emoji on TikTok, don't.
That's interesting.
Because yeah, they will get you. They don't like it. I think they consider it, yeah, I'd said like sexual harassment on there when I've used it. Yes.
That's interesting because I remember the other day I saw somebody I follow on TikTok. She posted about she got flagged for, or somebody reported her for like nudity or something like that. But she was like fully dressed, and it's just like it's weird. The TikToks, it's just weird. Like some of the things that they flag on don't
Dude, I
make
know.
sense.
I have so many conspiracy theories that would probably be a completely different podcast
Oh, that should be
that we
interesting.
could talk
Oh
about.
yeah.
I talk to creators about it all the time. So yeah, unless you want to get into that, I'll probably just shut up on the subject because I
Well,
used to complain about it a lot on Instagram, and I'm
mhm.
like, I need to stop doing that. So yeah,
Well,
I
no, yeah, it's understandable because, like, again, when you see people do small things but get banned, but then you see other people post outrageous things and they don't get banned, it's a
mhm,
weird. It just doesn't make sense in regards to seeing that. Um,
mhm.
so because I mean, like I said, I mean, obviously, I've seen your content, and obviously, I've probably seen a lot more people be out there with their content that probably could be flagged but not. So it's an interesting thing. Your Twitter is a lot more not out there.
Okay.
Yeah, your Twitter is a lot more. I guess freedom is the word I want to go with, because it doesn't
Yeah.
Twitter doesn't necessarily restrict you as much unless people obviously report it. But like compared to TikTok and Instagram, Twitter is a breeze because like so, I like some of your stuff that you've put on there that are really good. Um, and
Yeah,
so
I put my things on there that I can't really put anywhere else, and maybe it's just a
mm,
little too crazy for like Fansly.
right.
But I did recently get reported on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Like every single post up to a certain one. I don't remember when it stopped. And I mean, they didn't take it down. They just flagged my post saying that it might be sensitive to some users. So yeah, I didn't think that would happen though. I'm like, there's straight porn on there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I don't have that.
That's true. Yeah, again, it's just wild when you see like what gets flagged and what doesn't get flagged.
I know.
Because you do have one on your account that I saw on your Twitter account that I saw that was sensitive content, and I was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
flagged that one
"Oh,
because
you did?
I'm like,
Okay,
well, I'll feel better about doing it myself than somebody else reporting me.
okay, yeah, definitely, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense."
Uh-huh.
So for those who are watching and listening, so let's see, you've done Ray Skywalker. I've seen that one. You
Hmm.
recently just did a kind of a Rick and Morty.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, yes.
tell us about that one.
Okay, so I'm very late to the Rick and Morty game.
Really? Oh
I've
man,
had a lot
I
of people
love
make
Rick and
fun
Morty.
of me. Oh my God, I do too. I'm obsessed. And I just binged everything up to the new season that came out because I don't have access to Adult Swim.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, a lot of people have made fun of me because I hadn't seen it. And my dad had been telling me for years, but like, dude, there's so much stuff to watch all the time. Like, I don't know what made me watch it one night, but immediately I was like, oh my God, this is my show. Like the things that they do in that show blow my mind that they're even accepted in today's society. Um, but I'm like, that's the content I want to make. Like I have to do something with it. And I actually have a lot more plans, but I'm trying to get more into like doing cool edits in my videos. I want to be able to do a portal. Um,
Oh,
with After Effects, but I've never played with After Effects. I'm just now getting a little bit more comfortable with like Final Cut Pro
hmm,
and can't do a portal in that, at least not easily. Um, but yeah, I want to do so many more things. And that might end up more content on Twitter
right.
just because so much of it I can't do for TikTok.
Hmm.
But Rick now is like one of my favorite cosplays that I've done.
Oh
I
yeah,
love it.
definitely. So there's Ray, there's Rick. I'm trying to think. You did a She-Hulk one. That was pretty
Yes.
cool. That I was really that well that and a Poison Ivy. Was that actual like? Did you spray paint yourself?
Okay. Uh, hold on. Let me get on Amazon so I can tell you the name of the paint. But I actually had three different green characters. There's She-Hulk,
Hmm.
uh, Poison Ivy, which Poison Ivy from like the DC
The
comics
Harley Quinn
on
show.
video. Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, Gamora. I'm like, and in their defense, I mean, they do have the same skin color and same hair color.
Right.
So I'm not Gamora. And then I did my own version of a Twi'lek from Star Wars, all with the same color.
Right. I think I saw that one.
Yeah, that all three of those are also some of my favorites because they're completely different. And
Mhm.
I mean, my cosplay compared to some cosplayers is pretty, I don't know, thrown together.
Right.
Like, I don't look like most cosplayers and how like far out they go.
Oh,
I
right,
kind of
right.
style. Oh darn it, I'm not logged in on here. Um, it's like called Krylon paint or something, and
Okay.
it's just this little tub. And I don't have the patience to go like super methodical with it. I just
Hmm.
kind of like slap it on real quick and hope it looks good. And honestly, it does turn out pretty good.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's all very good. I very much uh like that content. I'm trying to think what else was it. So what's a future kind of couple of cosplays that you have in mind that you want to do?
One of them is Mr. Nimbus from Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have one of my friends, Lord Sylvanas Studio. He has a channel on TikTok too. His stuff's amazing, and he's like super good at making cosplay. So he's probably gonna help me because I'm not that great
Hmm.
at like creating the outfits. Um, and then there's some other people that I have planned. I always have these ideas and executing them doesn't always happen. Um, I'm trying to think of who else I've got in the works. So I just did Luke. Oh, Padme. I have a Padme outfit that I've had for like a month now, and I haven't even tried it on.
Oh,
I kind of have that problem, whereas I don't try it on until the day of, and then sometimes I have to do like minor alterations.
right, right.
I haven't, I filmed some stuff for Sailor Moon that I had never released because I'm
Oh,
happy with it.
oh.
I also have, I can never remember her name, but the invisible girl from My Hero Academia. Do you know, are you familiar with that anime?
I'm familiar with it, but I wouldn't think of the name off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But I
I
think I
mean,
know who you're talking about.
yeah, she's invisible. So all you see is her clothes.
Oh, okay.
And so I recently did a Star Wars thing where it looks like a Force ghost with my green screen suit that I got for her.
I saw that. That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
that idea came from me not knowing how the hell to do that suit properly. Because for her, I need it to completely disappear.
Hmm.
So I just recently got a new ring light, and I'm hoping that with that I can make it work a little bit better. Because yeah, oh, it's not Krylon. I don't know why I thought Krylon. The makeup paint that I used was Moran Makeup Paradise paint. It's super popular with people who do body paint all the time.
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
Cad Bane. Thinking of body paint, I would love to do. When I saw him, was he in Mandalorian or Boba Fett?
He was in Book of Boba Fett.
Okay, I get them confused because they crossed.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, when I saw Cad Bane, because I haven't finished watching Clone Wars.
Oh, it's very good.
But I was like obsessed with him. However, my Cad probably will not be exactly great. So I would like to do him sometime.
Huh?
He's on my, I even have like things in my cart waiting to be purchased. And it's Cad Bane stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because I like doing the body paint. It like makes you like completely go from a human to just like an alien type creature.
That just sounds all very, very fun. See, I've grown up, like never. So growing up, I never knew anything about cosplayers or cosplaying whatsoever, until just probably a couple of years ago. Because I never had friends who were very much interested in that. I did have a few here and there. But here where I live, a couple of years ago, me and a friend did go to another city close by. They were having like a small little Comic Con that they were doing. It was pretty cool. Everybody was. It's very cool to see everybody dress up and just having fun. I think growing up, at least at the time, cosplayers were usually got made fun of and things like that. But it's very cool to see people go out and just have a good time, dress up in their favorite character attire and things like that. I never understood. I don't. Obviously, you probably never experienced this, but I've seen TikTok for people like certain characters can't be certain colors and things like that, and I'm just kind of like, what does it matter? And so as long as these people are having a good time and they're having fun, that's all that matters, in my opinion. I guess people are just they wanted to be accurate as possible for some people, but most people just like to have fun with it.
Yeah, I wish that you could just embrace that character and like the skin color wouldn't matter. But that's what's cool about the body paints. I mean, obviously you can't do like changing of human colors, but you can do green, you can do blue, you can do purple. That's all on the table, which is super cool. And yeah, I agree. As far as like the cons and everything and people getting together and just being with others that enjoy the same thing that you do is really, really fun.
Very much so. Very much so. So as we get ready to wrap up this episode, it should be up on screen now as per usual. But for those who are listening on podcast, tell us where people can follow you and support you.
I am on obviously TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit. I never use, but I do have a decent Reddit following considering I don't do anything on there.
Huh.
I would like to though. It's just,
right.
Being able to keep up with all the platforms is kind of hard. And then I have a Fansly, which is similar to OnlyFans, but a little bit different. And I am on OnlyFans, but nothing is on there. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to manage that one too. I really like Fansly.
Oh, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right. So, guys, this isn't the last that you'll be seeing of her. She will actually be back on later on this week. A new series, which, if you watched my video this past Monday, there's a new segment to Nerd Talk coming called Nerd Talk After Hours. The idea behind that one is we will talk about anything. It doesn't have to be nerd related topics. We can talk about life, friendships, dating, whatever. That's what we're going to talk about. And she'll definitely be back, guys. Be sure you're following the channel for that. Be sure, as you can see on screen now, you can follow Nerd Talk with ShonnyDman on podcast and Spotify. And obviously, I will leave the links to her content, her social media in the description below, so you guys can go give her a follow. Give her a follow. She does great work, and you won't be disappointed whatsoever from what you see. But other than that, you guys have a good Wednesday, and I will see you guys later on this week when we will put out the first episode of Nerd Talk After Hours. Until then, you guys keep it real. Check out the channel, and like I said, hit that like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. See you.